And now we get to the co-main event of the evening for the UFC Undisputed Bantamweight Championship between the champion and Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, who comes into this fight with a record of 21 victories and 3 defeats, going up against the number 2 ranked bantamweight, the former 2-time bantamweight champion, the returning TJ Dillashaw. You have Dillashaw, Dalla Dillashaw versus the Funk Master in a 5-rounder in the co-main event in Abu Dhabi. Dillashaw versus Sterling is an extremely competitive matchup, and it's very interesting. I'm super intrigued to see how the fight's going to play out, because if you look at the champion in Aljamain Sterling, he's coming off his last 2 fights, one being that disqualification title win at UFC 259 against the champion at the time in Petr Yan, where he was clearly going to lose the decision going into the 5th round and the end of the 5th round, but then Yan decided to go ahead and land that illegal knee and cost himself the title. Then they rematched at UFC 273 for the vacant bantamweight championship after Petr Yan defeated Corey Sandhagen for the interim title at UFC 267. And in that fight, Aljamain won 3 out of the 5 rounds and was able to be declared and still the UFC bantamweight champion. So he proved all the doubters wrong in his last fight. He did what he had to do. He was able to close the distance on Petr Yan, get him worried about the striking a little bit, and then be able to get those takedowns. And once he got the takedowns, he took the back of Petr Yan and was able to sink in the body triangle, land some vicious ground and pound, be able to turn Yan over onto his stomach and land vicious ground and pound from there, still from that body triangle position. And once Yan had Sterling on his back, he didn't really know what to do. But when the fight continued in the 4th and the 5th, that's when Petr Yan was able to stuff those takedowns. He was able to land more shots on the feet. And every time he was landing a shot on Sterling, Sterling was a little bit out of his element. You could see that every time a shot was landing, Sterling was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Like where did that shot come from? And he was almost in a state of panic, like he had to panic wrestle. And before the takedowns were done off reaction, or they were done off the reaction of Petr Yan, and later on in the fight, it was done off of the reaction of Sterling from the punches and the shot selection of Petr Yan, which made them easier to see and made it easier for Yan to defend the shots. You look at the takedown accuracy of an Aljamain Sterling, he only has a 21% takedown accuracy, and he averages 1.71 takedowns per 15 minutes. But if you look at that stat and think, like, right off the bat, you're like, oh, well, he's not that good of a wrestler. He doesn't have the best takedowns, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, he only needs to get you down like once, maybe twice a round, and you're not getting him off you for the rest of the round. He really only needs 1 takedown per round to get you down, take your back, get the hooks in, put in the body triangle, and attack your neck. Try to work for a rear naked choke, look for another type of submission, or flatten you out like he did against Yan at certain points, and land some vicious ground and pound from the back. He's called the human backpack for a reason. You know, the funky backpack strangle is what Aljamain Sterling is known for. You look at the fight with Corey Sandhagen, which is a common opponent for both of these guys. And Sandhagen started off the fight. He moved laterally. Sterling stepped in, landed some kicks to close off the range, waited for Sandhagen to throw a shot, ducked under, got the takedown, got to the body lock, shucked them forward as Sandhagen tried to whizzer, was able to jump on the back, get the hooks in, lock in the body triangle, and immediately attack the neck. Once he had the choke, Sandhagen defended it originally, and then Sandhagen got the grip switched on him. Sterling locked in the choke from the other side, and that was it. 1 round in, and boom, that was it. It only took 1 round, not even a full round, for Sterling to jump on Sandhagen, get the back, funky backpack strangle, and that was it. And that's what led him to get the title shot in the first place. Now you look at TJ Dillashaw, he's got an 86% takedown defense rate with only a 30% takedown accuracy. Sterling on the other side, the champion, at 21% takedown accuracy, but a 41% takedown defense rate. 86% takedown defense rate is big going into this fight against Aljamain, because I know that he was able to take Petr Yan down, but Yan is known for having good takedown defense, but he doesn't have a wrestling background. You know, TJ Dillashaw has a wrestling background. I believe he was a state champion, or at least had won a few titles as a wrestler before jumping into MMA. And, you know, he's not easy to take down either. Now, Dominic Cruz was able to get takedowns as, you know, Dillashaw tried to run forward and land those blitzing switch stance combinations, he was able to catch him on the singular plane, catch him on the square plane, and take him down twice in a row, get some other takedowns as well. But that was back in 2016. Now, Dillashaw is, in my opinion, the much more well-rounded mixed martial artist, and I don't think that you have to sit there and really convince yourself of that statistic. I mean, he's going to be the more well-rounded striker. He's going to be the more dangerous striker on the feet. The big key for this fight is will Dillashaw be able to land his beautiful striking, use those stance switches, the stance switch combinations, the high kicks, the body kicks, the low kicks? Will he be able to mix up his entire game without giving Sterling an opportunity to take his back and choke him out? Because if Sterling does get the back of Dillashaw and does take him down, Dillashaw's probably not going to get back up to his feet. I know that Dillashaw's good at the scrambling. He's good at stopping takedowns. He has good takedown offense, especially with that stance switch from orthodox to southpaw, stepping around the lead leg with the former rear leg to get that outside trip style of double leg takedown. You saw it showcased the most at UFC 207 in the John Lineker fight, and then you also saw Rose Namajunas showcase that takedown as well in her fights with Zhang Weili. She was able, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk respectively, she was able to fake the right hand, step into southpaw off that cross, and then step around the lead leg of the opponent, push them, and get the takedown. The stance switch outside trip takedowns are going to be good for TJ Dillashaw in this fight, in my opinion, and that's usually how he gets most of his takedowns. But he can shoot traditional double legs. He can get single legs as well. But I don't necessarily think we're going to see TJ use his wrestling offensively. I think it's going to be more of a defensive wrestling approach from the former champion in Dillashaw against Sterling, because I think Sterling is going to be looking to pressure TJ Dillashaw. He's going to be looking to land those front kicks to the body, right rear front kick, lead elbows from switching stance to southpaw, right hook, double jab, straight left hand, left hook. Use that left hook to then change levels, get the head on the outside, and look for the double leg. 1-2. Front kick up the middle. 1-2. Lead right hook off the stance switch. Front kick to the body. Double jab. Shooting on a takedown. He's very awkward in the way he sets up his strikes, but Sterling is very effective with the way he sets everything up, and he gets the opponent to high guard, gets them, panicking under the pressure, and then uses your ability to high guard against you to enter in on your hips and get the takedown or work to the body lock and look to shuck you forward like he did against Sandhagen, and then jump one hook in, get the other hook in, and work to establish the body triangle and then go for the submission. Dillashaw doesn't want Sterling anywhere near his back, but I don't think Sterling wants anything to do with Dillashaw on the feet. I think the reason why Sterling's offensive striking worked so well for him early against Petr Yan was because of the high guard that Yan establishes. And we talked about that with long, rangy guys as well, like a Corey Sandhagen, like a potentially a Sean O'Malley. That high guard allows for the opponent to throw whatever they want because you're not really moving your head. So it gives them the ability to control your lead hand, jab you, control, switch stance, double jab, right hook, straight left, teep to the body, control the hands, and keep your hands up to your head so you're not getting any offense back at you. Now with the guy in Dillashaw who has such evasive footwork, stance switches, angle changes, 1-2, fake the stance switch into southpaw from orthodox, and then go back to orthodox and left hook overhand right. He's very good at stutter stepping and faking the stance switch to get you to open yourself up for the attacks that he's throwing. A lot of guys, like we talked about with Petr Yan, the 1-2 switch into southpaw, straight left. We talked about it with Beneil Dariush as well. Dillashaw will go 1-2, fake the stance switch, but then go back to orthodox to open up the angle on the opposite side and get you circling towards that side, which you originally were set to defend, but he got you off your game, and then boom, he'll throw the right hand. 1-2, fake the stance switch into southpaw, left hook, boom, right hand. 1-2, switch stance, left straight, right hook, roll underneath. He's very good at rolling off of the same side shots as well. He'll go 1-2, roll, right hook, straight left, lead left high kick. 1-2, left hook, right high kick. 1-2, same side, right high kick. 1-2-3, shot to the body, high kick on the left side or right side, depending if he's orthodox or southpaw. The kicking game of Dillashaw is going to be a big problem for Sterling, but he's going to have to watch out with the way that he sets up the kicks, because if Sterling's able to crowd Dillashaw's kicking attempts, he can open himself up to get taken down. And it only takes one shot for Sterling to be able to jump on the back of TJ, lock in that body triangle, and then go for a choke. And I don't think, I mean, I know that Dillashaw's the more well-rounded fighter, but Dillashaw doesn't want Sterling anywhere near his back in this fight. If Dillashaw gives up his back and Sterling is able to get that body triangle in and attack a choke, it's only going to be a matter of time before Dillashaw gets choked unconscious. And I'm not the biggest Sterling fan, but I do respect the way that he approaches the game. And he doesn't have the most accurate takedowns, but it's because if the takedowns don't work for him, he kind of starts to panic wrestle. I think with the ability of Dillashaw to move in and out, to switch stances, constantly use changing of the angles and multiple stance switches and stutter steps and the drop shift. He's very good at the drop shift where he'll fake with the rear hand, to get you to think that he's closer than he actually is. And then he'll switch stance into southpaw, straight left, right hook, switch back, left hook, right hand, right high kick off the cross. He's very good at the cross high kick. He was one of the first mixed martial artists at a high level to really showcase that. And one of the first fighters alongside of Dominic Cruz to really showcase effective movement footwork and evasive footwork inside the UFC and at the highest level. I don't think that Sterling is going to be able to set those shots up as easily against a guy who moves as much as TJ. He did set up some good strikes and land some good combinations with his awkward style against Pedro Munoz. That's a stationary target. He doesn't really move a lot. He doesn't change his stances much. He just keeps that traditional high guard and looks to walk forward and land power shots and chop you with low kicks, kind of like a shoot the box Thai style of approach. Peter Yan moves a little bit more than Munoz, cuts off angles a little bit better, but again, the style is kind of the same. Hands up high guard, moving forward, looking to cut off your angles and cut off your exits, and then set up his strikes off of the angles in which you move. But it's not him using a lot of movement laterally, cutting angles, switching stances that's doing it. It's him cutting off your movement to kind of box you in. That's not going to work against a guy in Dillashaw with the wrestling background, the wrestling to fall back on. It's not going to be easy for Sterling to take him down. He's not going to be standing in front of him. There's going to be a lot of stance switches, a lot of angle shifts, a lot of drop shifts, switching off the jab to southpaw, straight left, right hook, right shot to the body, switch back orthodox, double jab, triple jab, 1-1-2, switch into orthodox, or switch into southpaw, right hook, straight left, switch back to orthodox, double jab, left hook, right uppercut, switch southpaw, right hook, straight left, right uppercut, switch back orthodox, jab, left hook, right high kick, switch back southpaw, straight left, right hook, straight left to the head, right hook to the body, left body kick, switch back orthodox, double jab, right uppercut. I mean, it's going to be constant switching, constant attacks from multiple levels, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. I just think it's way too many weapons for Sterling to be able to come out of this fight unscathed. But I mean, you saw in the TJ fight against Sandhagen. See, he was able to stop a lot of the spinning attacks, the spinning back fists, the hook kicks, and be able to take the back of Sandhagen effectively. Aljamain did the same thing. He pushed him up against the cage and was able to take his back, jump on it, and look for a submission. He was able to take Yan down after a failed takedown, stuff, and then he was able to pop, control the hands and take him down. Those takedowns are not going to be as easy to get against the TJ Dillashaw, who is a standout offensive wrestler, who does have good takedown defense, who's more effective with his takedown accuracy when it comes to the stats as well. 21% takedown accuracy for Sterling to a 30% takedown accuracy for TJ Dillashaw. When it comes to the striking, I mean, you got to give the advantage to TJ. If this fight stays on the feet for longer than a few rounds, I think TJ Dillashaw will knock Aljamain Sterling out cold. With the high kicks, the cross high kicks, just the variety he throws on the feet with the stance switches, the footwork, the angle changes, cutting the opponents off, directing them, using a lot of misdirection to land those striking combinations. I think it's just a point until Sterling gets flustered and shoots a bad takedown and runs into a knee, or runs into a high kick, or slips across and runs into the same side high kick. I think if TJ finishes Sterling on the feet, it's going to be catching him with a kick. We've seen Sterling get caught with a switch kick against Marlon Moraes, where he shot a bad takedown, got caught with a switch kick, and got kneed right in the head and, knocked out cold. I think we could see a similar situation where maybe TJ isn't orthodox. He fakes the right hand, fakes it, switches into southpaw with that cross and then fades off with that left high kick. It's a possibility you get the 1-2 same side high kick and Sterling dips his head off the center line and runs right into the shin of TJ and gets knocked out cold. We've seen it happen before with Sterling, and I think we're going to see TJ catch him again. I mean, like I said, I'm not discrediting the champion's ability, because if he does take the back of TJ, it's going to be a wrap. Not too many people can survive with Sterling on your back. Now, Peter Yan did. He didn't get submitted, but he lost on the scorecards. If TJ gives up his back multiple times and even doesn't get submitted, I mean, Sterling's going to bank those rounds. But I think the defensive responsibility of TJ in terms of the grappling is going to be good enough to survive any attempts that Sterling has with taking the back, looking for submissions, looking to lock in the body triangle. And I also think the offensive output of TJ Dillashaw on the feet is going to be a big weapon for him against Sterling, and Sterling's going to get a little bit flustered and eventually wind up running into a high kick. Whether it's a same side high kick, whether it's a stance switching high kick, he's going to run into the shin of TJ, and I think he's going to get knocked out cold. So my pick for this fight is going to be the number 2 ranked former bantamweight champion to become a 3-time king at 135 pounds in TJ Dillashaw by defeating the champion Aljamain Sterling via a 3rd round TKO. I think it's going to be close and competitive early, but once it's not competitive, the fight's going to be over. And the volume, the technical ability of TJ on the feet, his ability to throw those low kicks, body kicks, high kicks, he's going to catch Sterling at one point, and he's going to catch him on the chin and knock him out. So my pick is the number 2 ranked TJ Dillashaw to defeat Aljamain the Funkmaster Sterling via a 3rd round head kick KO and become the new bantamweight champion of the world.